Hi, I'm Kortnee Garcia with the Garcia Group Home Loans, and this is...
Hi, I'm Brikelle Corcoran with Keller Williams Yuma, and I'm also a military spouse realtor. All right, so I'm gonna just ask you some really quick questions that buyers might not know or that buyers might want more information on.
Perfect, shoot.
Okay, ready. Question number 1 is, what is the minimum down payment amount for a manufactured home?
Conventional would be 5%, VA, there's no down payment, and then FHA would be 3.5%.
Why should someone use a local lender?
So the difference with being a local lender, and this is hard for me to explain also because I do lend in 47 states. So my localness loves the idea that I know my appraisers, my clients are here. If they have a question on insurance, I can create a bigger pool for the client overall when they come here. Because a lot of our clients come here not knowing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've recently had a lot of clients that come from Japan. They absolutely know nobody. They don't have cars. They don't have anything. So we can refer them to wherever they need to.
Mm-hmm.
The best part about having a local lender is you want to really look at their NMLS ID number. That's one of the biggest things, is because you can hire a local lender, but they could have got their license last week. You can hire one that has a license, like me, over 20 years. So you want to make sure that you have a local lender that knows the environment that they're in, plus has the experience that your buyers are going to need, because they're going to have a lot of questions, and you don't want them to be treated like they're working with a used car salesman where they just answer a question without doing the research or really knowing the answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a lot of loans that I have to save. And they become over to us because it's a rush situation, because the lender missed something, or they just did a pre-qual letter off of a credit report and a phone call. So a lot of your non-local lenders, that's how they pre-qual your clients. So they will take an application over the phone or receive an application online. Based on just that information alone is how they issue the pre-qual letter. So as I tell my clients, your pre-qual letter can be written in ink, which is no better than the paper it's written on, or they can have a firm pre-qual letter with my name backing it and all the boxes marked yes, that we've reviewed all their documents, and we'll even send the files for actual pre-approval through an underwriter. So that's your biggest difference is know how deep your lender is going in on their pre-quals.
What benefits do you have for VA buyers?
So I started this a few years ago with giving back to my military and all of my first responders. So we, throughout the end of the year, will give up to $1,800 in closing cost credits, where the buyers can either use those to buy down their closing costs, or if the closing costs are being completely paid for by the seller, they can utilize the $1,800 to buy down their interest rate.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Does someone have to make a certain amount of money to qualify for a loan?
As long as their debt to income ratios are the minimum requirements or the maximum requirements, they don't exceed, that's where they kind of come into line. So if a borrower makes $1,000 a month per se, and we can't exceed a 50% debt ratio, and they have a $500 car payment, they don't qualify for anything, because that car payment is all their debt ratio that's allowed. To where if they have a $5,000 income, 50% is $2,500, and they have a $500 car payment, now we can use $2,000 towards the house payment. And then we work the reverse math of how much is a loan amount with a $2,500 payment.
What is something that you would tell someone right now who is thinking about buying a house?
Talk to your lender first. Give them everything that they ask for right away. Don't hide anything. And then drive around the areas, know where you want to be. I get a lot of our clients that they get a little impulsive and they buy a home before they're ready to know as much about the neighborhood. So drive the neighborhood in the mornings when schools are going, at night when everyone's home. So that's what I tell you. Do a little bit more of your own research. Make sure, drive out there and then drive to work in the morning. Make sure that's a drive you want to make every day, or home in the evenings. I live out in the counties and people tell me all the time, oh my God, you drive so far. I love that drive. That is 25 minutes of me time. Yes.
Decompress time.
Yeah, half the time I'll get home and I don't even have the radio on.
Last question. Is right now a good time to buy a house?
Anytime is a good time to buy a house. So there's a lot that goes on the social media, and you'll see marry the house, date the rate. It's so true. I don't know of any client, and I've been doing this for 25 years, that has kept a mortgage for a full 30 years. Even my 15 years, I don't think I've had many of them keep it for 15 years. So you really do date the rate. And then I have a lot of clients that get really stuck on the APR. So the APR, clients really need to do a lot more research on them. And if you're with a lender that can't explain an APR to you, then that's really a fast move of run, because an APR legitimately cannot be calculated correctly until you pay off your mortgage, because your APR is calculated based on the day you bought the house and the fees and the interest rate that you paid, calculated over the entire term. So if they're calculating over in 30 years, your APR is going to be completely different than the day that you paid it off in 5 years when you decided to refinance to get rid of that 7% interest rate and go into the forest. So don't pay attention to that APR so much also.
Yeah, great tips.
Again, I'm Kortnee Garcia, the Mortgage Hero. If you liked what you heard today, please subscribe below. Thank you for watching.